When I think of advanced degrees, or the what you gain with a graduate education, one word that would come to mind would be expertise, or deep expertise.
Critical experience.
Disciplined.
Depth.
Competitiveness.
Rigor.
Competency.
Professionalism.
Quality.
Integrity.
Something that you wouldn't normally get by reading a few books or doing a few online classes, but it's something that gets conveyed, from teacher to student in seminars over time, exposure to the literature, etc. And that's, to me, an invaluable asset that can't be easily learned. It's something that it fundamentally takes years sometimes to convey that kind of deep knowledge.
Most of the time we look at a graduate degree requirement because we believe that the knowledge, the experience, and the competence that one acquires from graduate studies is critical to the work that we do.
When we're looking in our particular industry to hire, the master's degree, the graduate school background really tells me somebody's been through a level of discipline that is important to the work that we do. And because we're working with human beings, which have a lot of volatility, and you really are having an impact on people's lives, I think we need to hold ourselves to a high standard. And graduate school, I think, sets some of those bars for people.
I work in Microsoft research, and I would argue that somewhere north of 90% of the people that work in Microsoft research have advanced degrees, usually a PhD.
First of all, if you want to be a practicing architect, you have to have a master's degree. We have moved in the direction of integrated practice. When we get brought on board as their consultant, we need to understand what drives their organization, and then how did those things inform the programming for the building that we're being hired to design for them and with them. And that's a critical piece. We have to design a project with them at the table from beginning to end. We can't design a box and then hand it off. The days of just kind of simple turnkey projects is behind us.
The field of education is no less technically sophisticated than being a doctor in the medical area or a chemist or an astronaut or whatnot. There is a tremendous high degree of technical proficiency, and gone are the days of I have expertise because I went to school, right? Or I've been a student. Being a technically proficient educator is tremendously difficult work, and you need ongoing support. And again, graduate education helps you get at that at much more mature and sophisticated levels than you can when you're 21.
What I like about graduate students today is that they're being trained to see far more than just their discipline. It is seeing, I think, and the demands of people to see the whole and to be used to it.
There are so many choices that open up with a graduate degree that aren't there without that graduate degree.
When I think about my time at the Evans School, being able to go deeper on policy analysis or budgeting, financial management, it really gave me a stronger foundation when I entered the workforce post-graduation to really understand what my employer needed from me and wanted from me, but then also how to think a little differently that I don't think I would have had after I finished undergrad.
Well, it was interesting for me to reflect. My undergraduate degree was liberal arts. I was a teacher, and I got an MBA. And it was interesting for me because I had never taken a business course in my undergrad and didn't think that was for me. And I was working and going to school at the same time, and I found I loved it. It was a whole new discipline. I think that really was instrumental in helping me understand how to look at problems, how to look at circumstances from a very different lens. And so I have always reflected how important that MBA was for me and how much it's helped in ways that I never imagined, whether it's in policy and politics, whether it was running a state agency, or whether it was here at the foundation.
When you hire the right person, my experience has been you might hire them for a specific role, but if they're truly valuable and they truly have that broad-based graduate education, you can typically take that person and put them in different roles in different places and watch them kind of rise to the top.
I told my sons, you're in a world that's going to demand a graduate degree, so go get it. But it is not the degree It's what it took to get it that defines the individual. I came out of an environment where all of a sudden I realized that every generation launches a platform for the next. Graduates' education will launch a platform for my very perfect granddaughter, and her world will certainly be better than anything I could have dreamed of.